A U.S. advisory panel on nutrition has issued a sweeping report on the American diet. The panel's findings specifically recommend that Americans be kinder to the environment by eating more plant-based foods and fewer animal-based foods. The panel is confident that the country can align both health goals and environmental aims, and warns that the way Americans eat can significantly be improved. Joe, this isn't the first time that we've heard these kinds of things. We all know that eating a lot of meat does have a negative impact on the environment. But for the first time, they're coming out and they're saying it publicly, and it's really pissing people off. The meat companies, obviously, and even Congress. So they do a report every 5 years, right? They dish it out to the USDA, and then the USDA will do a big thing where they try to tell the public about the new findings for the past 5 years, and it changes. And it goes all the way from like public commercials to what they're teaching kids in schools, right? It's really interesting because, I don't know, you're from Britain. I was raised here. I don't know how you guys ate at your schools, or if your mom packed you a lunch, I don't know. But when I was eating there, I don't remember any vegetables, anything like that. I remember French fries, cheeseburgers, burritos, pizzas. And it's like, does that not kind of build these little kids' like eating habits for the rest of their lives? It
does. I remember being forced to eat Brussels sprouts once, but generally at school you just ate pizza and fries, or chips as we call them. But you know, I think it's a really good thing that the advisory committee is finally addressing the environmental issues, and not just with food. They're now addressing climate change and all these things. I can't believe this is the first time they've addressed it. But you know, it comes down to two issues. It comes down to the health of people consuming meat, or too much meat, and it also comes down to the environment and the sustainability of it.
Right, which is, it's interesting because you see the meat companies and even Congress trying to shut it down and trying to make sure that these types of things don't go public. This paper that was published, let me give you a quote from it. It'll give you a pretty good idea of exactly what we're talking about. This is what it says. Consistent evidence indicates that, in general, a dietary pattern that is higher in plant-based foods, such as vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds, and lower in animal-based foods, is more health-promoting and is associated with lesser environmental impact than is the current average in the U.S. diet. Okay, look, we know it's bad, right? We know it's bad for the environment. But what's sad is that these meat companies and Congress are trying to make sure that we don't know these things. Shouldn't that be up to us? Shouldn't they care more about our health, our well-being, the environment especially, more than their meat companies?
Yeah, it's freedom of speech. Both sides should have the right to debate, and to put their case across, and to put any science across. At the end of the day, they're not actually saying to eliminate meat altogether. They're just saying to cut down of it. You know, these days, it costs $1 or $2 to buy a burger, and so the consumption of meat is so high because of it that the way they're going about producing meats, it's really being done in a cheap way, and stuffing the animals and, you know, mass producing them, and it's not good quality meat that people are eating because of the rate of consumption. You know, it's so cheap. So I think to reduce the amount of meat is actually a good thing. You're going to have healthier produce, and you're going to sustain the planet and the species for future generations.
Yeah, well, the American Meat Institute has repeatedly questioned whether the nutrition panel should be advising them on the environment. They're kind of telling them, stay in your place. This isn't about the environment. You guys do nutrition, stick to it. But it's clearly connected. And what's funny is that that's pretty ironic, because I don't want the Meat Institute of America telling me what I should be knowing or what I should not be knowing when it comes to the environment, because that's equally as distant from what they should be doing.
Yeah, they have a stake in this, pardon the pun.
Let us know what you guys think. Comment and subscribe below. Thank you so much for watching The Lip.